welcome back to the What's Your Motive podcast. Today I have a very special guest here today with me, Darrin Alston. I'm down here at his River West studio where he actually does his recordings for Sorta Ridiculous. So today I'm going to be asking him some questions, trying to get to know him a little bit better. So please welcome Darrin Alston from Sorta Ridiculous.
Dude, what? I appreciate you having me on your show. It's not too often that I'm on the other side of that I'm being interviewed as opposed to giving the interview.
No, absolutely. I'm thank you for even being open to allow me to interview you and get to know you. So how long you been doing the radio and the podcasting?
So initially started as a straight up radio show.
Okay.
That was it started in August 22nd of 2019.
Okay.
I call it 2019 BT because it was the before times.
Right, before COVID.
Yes. So for a while we were doing our shows via Zoom, which it wasn't the same. So me and my co-host Misha at the time, it wasn't the same energy. It was not the same energy. You need to be in the same place. But so since 2019, at one point, I believe we were the only show that was doing live from the studio.
Wow.
It was fun.
And it's incredible. And now here you are, just, continue to go, continue to do it, continue to build it. For starters, for people that don't know who you are and don't know a lot about Sorta Ridiculous, where are you from?
I'm originally from Memphis.
South.
Yes. So I've been back and forth, but for our first time moving to Milwaukee, Wisconsin was when I was 3 years old, so like 89, dating myself. I'm old.
Not that much older.
No. So then we've been back and forth a few times.
Okay.
And yes, I'm originally from Memphis. I've spent most of my life here in Milwaukee.
Okay. The family and I actually just went to Memphis. Was it a year or two ago? I can't remember. We went down there and we were able to go to the Civil Rights Museum. Right. That was pretty nice. Ate some food, but I'm not really a pork eater. So I ate some of the chicken. But
that's understandable.
Yeah, but I love the Civil Rights Museum down there.
Did you get to check out Beale Street?
Yes,
Yeah?
definitely did. Went down there. Obviously, we were with the kids though.
Of course,
but
it
was
still
a nice
festive thing to see.
Absolutely. It was a nice historical type of town, really to like check out. So it was nice to see, like a quick getaway. So you're from Memphis, Tennessee. Okay. What made you get into podcasting and radio?
So when I was at MATC, towards the end of my degree, I wanted to have something together to do all the things that I'm into.
Okay.
So I had no idea I was going to end up doing radio, but it's another way to create content and to raise awareness of your brand.
Yep.
So Sorta Ridiculous started about a year. The same year that I graduated, LLC'd and all that stuff. So, so essentially, it was wanting to raise awareness, Sorta Ridiculous, via the mediums that I'm a fan of.
Got you.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned MATC because one of the episodes that'll be released next week, I've been talking about trade school, technical school versus four-year universities.
Yes.
So for you to say that you went to MATC and you've been able to employ those things right away, what made you choose MATC? Because like we were talking off camera, four-year universities were shoved down our throats, and here you
definitely.
are.
Yo, hey, university isn't for everybody.
Man,
university isn't for everybody. I'm just gonna tell you that. Depending on what you want to get into. So what ended up happening is. Funny story. So I wanted to go into graphic design initially from high school because that's a lot of what I did. So my guidance counselor was like, "Oh, if you want to do that, you should go to MATC." I was like, "Sir, I'm not going to MATC. Maintain at the crib.
Right.
I'm going to a university."
Isn't that crazy that MATC is looked at as like a secondary, relegated second class education, but you are a product of a technical college, MATC, here in the metropolitan Milwaukee, and you were able to go there, get a degree, and being able to employ it and utilize your skills, and you actually enjoy it.
Oh yeah, no, MATC is a real gem. MATC is amazing. As long as you go in there knowing what you want to do, there's so many opportunities. What I appreciate about MATC are my mentors, instructors who, like, majority of them were working in the field currently, like while going through there. So that opened the door to other opportunities, access to places that you wouldn't have had any other way. Nothing against universities, but I'm not trying to take a semester on why I should use this particular color blue.
Right.
Again, nothing against universities.
Right.
I love the experience.
Absolutely. And I'm a product of it, multiple times over. But the technical college experience seems to be a lot more intimate. And then, like you said, your instructors were actually people who were still active in the actual industry in which they were teaching you.
Yes.
So which made it extremely relatable, which made it in real time. It's fresh. It's something that you can grapple on. So I definitely see that. So that's great. I'm just glad I have something to back up what I've been talking about.
Hey, no problem. It's legit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
You
sort
hear
of
that?
ridiculous.
Trade school. Hey, you don't be too cool for trade school, okay? So just going back to the podcasting and the radio and things like that. What are some of your likes and like some of your challenges that you deal with, or in regards to podcasting?
Focus for sure. Sometimes I'll be interviewing a guest and I kind of go off on a tangent on something that wasn't initially what we were talking about, but that's a part of the sort of ridiculous experience. Like, we'll follow the through line of the initial conversation, but sometimes we end up somewhere else. But sometimes that takes away from what we were initially talking about. So,
Right.
yeah. Not that I'm going to sit here and space out on you, but
Right. No.
it happens. So it happens sometimes. And to be personally honest, I like kicking it with folks.
Absolutely.
So part of sort of ridiculous is giving it, making it feel like, we're just hanging out, kicking back, just talking about the things that we do.
An authentic way.
Exactly.
And I think the conversation piece is the best, and that's what I've been learning a lot too. It's just to enjoy the conversation.
Yeah.
So, how did you come about getting the studio or being here? How did you get here?
So becoming a producer here at River West Radio it's an interesting story. So, by that time, I had created a card game.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Do you guys use swear words on this or not? So you know what? You just avoid it. Two Forks is the name of my card game. You can get it. You can
Appreciate
order
this censorship.
No problem. Go to sortaridiculous.com. That's sortaridiculous.com, and you'll find everything that you need.
Gotcha.
But I was at Fuel Cafe because that's what it was at the time, and I was walking this way, and her name is Ingrid Eubanks, a.k.a. the Hug Lady. Shout out to Ingrid if you ever see this.
Shout out to Ingrid.
Yes. So she saw my shirt, which actually I was wearing this exact design.
Okay.
This shirt right here, which actually promotes the game.
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." So I walked in, and she was like, "Hey, I really like your shirt." I was like, what you could do is you could interview me on your show." But she was playing Miles Davis. It was called Ingrid's Inspirational Hour.
Okay.
So she was like, "Okay, so not this week because I won't be able to post it, but another week for sure." So she interviewed me. A few months later, she wanted to kind of step back from her show for a bit. So essentially, I got that slot. So the show that you're going to be on, this was the Ingrid's Inspirational Hour.
Wow. So that was the inception.
Yes.
This is, I like it. Just walking in here, I'm just like, okay. I can dig it.
Yeah, this is like essential River West. This
Yeah.
is like the most River West
We are
place
in
that
the
you're going to
heart
find
of
in
River West right now.
Yes.
And I frequent this just as being, like I said, teaching. I taught right around the corner over here at Mr. St. Rose St. Mary's for 6 years, man. And
That's wild.
this is crazy.
So, like, what did you teach? Like,
I taught literacy.
okay.
For 3 years, 6th grade, 3 years, 3 years, 8th grade. I taught literacy. Sometimes social studies, religion. If they had questions about math problems, I taught that.
Right.
You kind of had to be the jack of all trades, but my core subject was literacy, so reading and writing. I'm always big into broadening the lexicon of students and exposing them to different things and different words and different literature. I never stayed on curriculum. I can say that now because I'm no longer in that district. But
he said?
I did what was best for the kids. I know that's cringy to say what's best for the kids, but once my door closed, that was our room, that was our community. We were gonna learn what was pertinent to them. We were gonna stay the course for the most part, but I had supplementary information for them as well. So
That's what's up. I feel like that's what teaching is about.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I used to wake up ready to be at work and deal with those kids for sure. So tell me a little bit about Drunken Comedy.
Oh, about my comedy show?
Yeah, your comedy
All right.
shows.
So I produce comedy. I produce comedy shows. I guess I'm a stand-up comedian. I call them Sort of Ridiculous comedy shows because it's all under the Sort of Ridiculous Productions umbrella. So I started my stand-up journey in January of 2023.
So wait, you're a stand-up comic?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that. I got a stand-up comic. I'm interviewing a stand-up comic also. Okay.
Apparently I'm funny.
Okay. Hey.
I don't know. Well, at least, I mean, according to the audience thus far, I guess I'm alright.
Okay. The wife and I are gonna have to come check you out.
Hey, the next show is March 16th.
March 16th.
at Drunken Cobra. It's
Okay.
68th and North, across from Bel Air.
Okay.
But,
March 16th.
yeah, so I started my journey last January, so January of 2023. A friend was visiting from California. I was like, you know what? I have some things I want to get off my chest. All right, so I know that they have an open mic at Bremen Cafe, which is right down the street here in River West. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So after doing it, I had a blast. I can't watch that video anymore, though, because I sound like a madman.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to come here every other week for 10 sets and not repeat any material, which I did for the most part. There was one joke that I repeated because I thought it'd be funny to a particular comedian that was there, but it fell flat. But
those are the growing pains, though. Those are the growing pains.
Oh, yeah. So towards the end of that goal, I started hosting my own open mic at Drunken Cobra, which I also interviewed comedians there. For Drunken Comics at Drunken Cobra is what I called it. And then a few months later, produced my first show at Drunken Cobra. And since then, I've produced 3 other shows.
Okay.
And my next one is, my 4th show is March 16th, like I said before. I've been very fortunate to work with the comedians that I have. And apparently the Milwaukee comedy scene is very welcoming, or at least part of it that the area that I'm a part of. And, I can't complain. And hosting open mics, they like it. I like it. So, yeah.
We're definitely going to have to come check you out.
I'd greatly appreciate that.
For sure. March 16th. I'll tell the wife to plug it in and put it in the calendar for sure.
All right.
It'll be a date night for us. And probably some of our other friends, too, want to check you out. Definitely want to support you. So just moving right back to the podcast and the radio station things, like how do you see that impacting the community, especially the River West area?
Well, as far as Sort of Ridiculous as a show, I think our approach is, well, it's me. I not that I'm not about issues, but I'm about the people. And I've interviewed a variety of people. And I think my genuine curiosity about folks and what they do, it really drives really drives what we what we put out. Again, so like 3 of the questions that I asked are, what is something sort of ridiculous about you? What is something sort of ridiculous to you? And what is something sort of ridiculous that has happened to you?
Right.
And from there, we kind of follow the conversation wherever they want to go with
Got
it.
you.
And basically we've found out more about about people that that you wouldn't have thought, because once you get like some guests, they are all about boom, boom, boom. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to
Right.
say. So those questions that disrupts what they normally would answer.
Right.
Because you had to wrangle them in sometimes.
Right. I see a lot of fun in your videos. I see that your personality is really free-spirited, and you really are like intrigued by your guests, and you want to listen to them. I was listening to one the other day, and I think the lady said one of her most ridiculous things, or sort of ridiculous things, was the fact that she had just had like a donut like a week before for the first time in her life.
Dana.
And then another thing is, I'm a seafood lover, so I love seafood. My wife loves seafood, and I knew you were telling her something about like getting some fish or going to a fish fry.
Yep.
And she said the only fish she had was a fish stick.
I know, that blew my
I'm
mind
like,
too.
what? You have been missing out on an amazing cuisine. Seafood is my favorite. I love fish. I love shrimp. I love crab legs, lobster. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
But,
I get that. No, I'm
know-
a fat kid. I love
Right.
love food. Like, eating's my favorite pastime. Well, actually, yeah, just ahead of playing video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I told you before, you had the animation where it's like sorta, but sort of ridiculous, and I knew on cue that was for Sega, because we all had Segas. Well, most of us did. I know I had a Sega, and like I told you, Sonic the Hedgehog was my favorite. Up, down, left, right, BA start was the cheat code to unlock all the boards. If you're a gamer, you know that.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But now, last but not least, what's your motive behind everything you do?
I like learning things and learning about places. I do this to travel and get paid. This is what it's all about. I want to get sort of ridiculous everywhere.
Gotcha.
When it comes down to it, if I can, okay, but for real, if I can make people feel the same way that I feel about things generally, I think we'd be in a much better place. Not to toot my own horn, but I do feel like if people could like sort of shift their view and sort of see things from an open perspective, I think we'd be in a much better place.
I would agree. Diversified perspectives do make a big difference, and I think some people are closed-minded. But like you said, being able to try to get people to open up and see things from a different purview will make a word of a difference. So, you know what I mean? So, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. I really, really appreciate it. As you know, I'm getting started. You've been doing it for a while, so don't be surprised if you see me or see my name coming up on your phone.
Hey, it is.
I may be
all
reaching
good.
out for ideas. I know you do web design. Graphic design and things like that. So, but until next time, what's your motive?